BBC News with Sue Montgomery. Russia says its troops have completely cleared Ukrainian forces from the besieged and heavily bombarded city of Mariupol after weeks of intense fighting, apart from one location. Its defence ministry said the only remaining defenders of the port were confined to a steelworks. The ministry spokesman is Igor Konashenkov.
The entire urban area of Mariupol has been completely cleared of the militants of the Nazi formation Azov, foreign mercenaries and Ukrainian troops. The remnants of the Ukrainian group are currently completely blocked on the territory of the Azovstal metallurgical plant. Their only chance to save their lives is to voluntarily lay down their arms and surrender.
President Vladimir Zelensky has acknowledged that Ukrainian soldiers are blockaded. He warned peace talks with Russia would come to a halt if the remaining troops in Mariupol were killed. The BBC's Mark Lowen is following developments from the capital, Kyiv.
It would be a huge prize for Russia to get Mariupol to establish a land corridor from Russia through eastern Ukraine to occupied Crimea. We wait to hear really the fate of Mariupol, but it could have already fallen or it could fall in the coming days. And if it does, that would be a major gain for Russia and a significant loss for Ukraine. And we'd have to see whether Russia continues to pound on after that or whether it settles with that land corridor and then tries to get to the negotiating table. Nothing is known, of course, in this war.
The mayor of Mariupol has estimated that at least 20,000 civilians have died. The Russian Defense Ministry has published the first pictures of what it says are crew members from the Moskva, the flagship of its Black Sea fleet, which sank on Thursday. The undated video shows about 100 sailors on a parade ground being inspected by the head of the Russian Navy. The ship's total crew numbers 500. Ukraine says 2 of its missiles struck the vessel. The most senior cleric in the Anglican Church, Justin Welby, will use his Easter Sunday sermon to condemn plans by Britain to send many asylum seekers to Rwanda. Under the measures, those who reach the UK illegally would be sent to Rwanda to have their applications processed. Alim Makboul reports.
In his most important sermon of the year, the Archbishop of Canterbury is expected to leave no doubt about his opposition to the idea of sending asylum seekers overseas. Justin Welby will say the plan raises serious ethical questions. He'll talk about the weight of Britain's responsibility as a country formed by Christian values and say that the policy is subcontracting out those responsibilities, something he'll say is opposite to the nature of God. A Home Office spokesperson said the UK had a proud history of supporting those in need of protection.
World News from the BBC. The Nigerian military says it's killed at least 5 senior commanders linked to the Islamic State group in the northeast of the country. Fighter aircraft from neighbouring Niger helped carry out strikes close to Lake Chad, where the militants had gathered at a training camp. Nigeria says dozens of other jihadists died. There's no independent verification. The South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has postponed an official visit to Saudi Arabia in order to focus on devastating floods in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Mr. Ramaphosa visited some of the worst affected areas on Wednesday. The BBC's Vumani Mkhize is in the province.
President Cyril Ramaphosa said the loss of nearly 400 lives, thousands of homes, as well as the economic impact of the destruction of infrastructure calls for all hands on deck. He visited flood sites in the KwaZulu-Natal province earlier this week, but since then, the death toll has rapidly risen. There are still scores of people missing who were caught in the flash floods and subsequent mudslides. K9 rescue teams have been deployed to various parts of the province, but chances of finding survivors at this stage are very slim.
Officials in the Democratic Republic of Congo have condemned the fatal shooting of a Congolese refugee in the American state of Michigan. Patrick Lagioya was shot in the head by a white police officer during a traffic stop earlier this month in the city of Grand Rapids. A scuffle took place involving a taser. State-run media in North Korea say the country's leader, Kim Jong-un, has overseen the latest in a series of weapons tests. Few details were given, but the official news agency said the new type of guided weapon system would improve the firepower of its artillery. It said its short-range or tactical nuclear arms would also be boosted. BBC News.